Hello, welcome back to part 4. This technique here is going to incorporate a first aid antiseptic, which is isopropyl alcohol. Okay, you're going to need to get a little container, and we're just going to take a little bit. We don't need a ton. Okay, just put a little bit in there. Make sure you put the cap on because this stuff will evaporate. Move it off to the side. Take your little container with it. Move it over here. You don't need it right now. And as in our previous techniques, we're going to lay down some water. Okay, we want to make sure that we have some water on our surface. Okay, and we're going to tone that surface with a couple different colors. You can choose to do whatever colors you want. I love this blue that I'm using here. This nice rich blue. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop it on here. I'm going to paint this surface up a little bit here. I'm going to move my paints around here. All right, I've got these really cool paints too. I know you don't have them, but there's some Blick liquid watercolors. I'm just going to show you them. They're pretty intense. They do some really neat things here. So it kind of gives you that tie-dye effect. And I'm going to move these around a little bit just to play again here. I'm going to take a little bit of my squirt gun here, squirt it. And then I'm going to drop in just a little bit of black. Now I don't normally use black a little bit, but I thought this might be kind of neat here because it's going to turn like a midnight blue here, kind of stand out here. So again, got that nice surface technique and texture going there. And then here's where the magic starts to happen. This is the fun part here. So I like to get like a smaller brush here. I'm going to dip my brush into this stuff here and watch what happens when this hits the surface. Some cool stuff. I'm just going to tap the bristles, and you get some neat effects happening here. And you have to do it a little bit. You can even draw on it like this, and you can see some cool things happening here. Again, another fun technique to play around with. And do what you need to do. Again, experimentation. You might find some interesting things that happen that I have never come across, but again, that's why we're experimenting. And like always in our techniques, do a couple different sheets of paper, play around, but you'll have to continue to keep doing this one a little bit because the wetter the paper is, the faster some of the techniques dissolve and go away. But as the paper starts to dry up and you catch it at the right time, you can really do some cool things and keep some of these techniques alive and well in your work. Again, sometimes I tell people, just play around with your non-dominant hand. I'm going to use my left hand. I'm right-handed, but I'm going to use my left hand to play around just so I'm not so trying to be so perfect, right? You can even take and you can even like, drop some of this on here. Don't pour a bunch on here, but you can kind of play around with this. And again, it's going to evaporate eventually. And again, through our power of the camera, here is a dried surface. Again, some cool organic kind of techniques on there. Looks like maybe something under a microscope. Here's another one too that I did. But again, we're going for that neat, rich surface texture and design. The idea of there's no wrong. There's just fun. Play around. Enjoy. Again, do 2 or 3 with the rubbing alcohol if you have it. I think you'll enjoy it. It's fun to watch the paint move around here. And have a good time. You can maybe even go back. I've never tried this, but I'm going to do it before we sign off here. I'm just going to take a little red paint. I'm just going to drop it on top of here and sprinkle it and see what happens later on with this thing. So enjoy. Do 2 or 3 of these, and I'll see you back for our last technique or 2.